All right, that was all I gotta say. There's gonna be some more black on black crime.
St. Louis, Missouri hasn't had a hit since Nelly dropped Country Grammar in the 90s. So it was a major deal when Tyron Woodley became the first welterweight champion from St. Louis. This gave motivation and inspiration for the next generation of fighters coming out of St. Louis that the dream was real. They could become a champion. So now Buckley is coming and he's going to fight Usman on his way to capture the welterweight title. This is a terrible match for Kamaru Usman. On first glance, you would think that Usman should just go in there and wash Buckley. But everybody underestimates Buckley. Buckley just finds a way to win every single time. He has that X factor. From the beginning of his career when he came into UFC and was throwing that 360 spin kick that went viral on Impa Kasanganay, who ended up becoming a multiple-time PFL champion, making millions of dollars, to him beating Vicente Luque, to him beating Wonderboy Thompson. He just continues not only beating Wonderboy Thompson, but knocking out Wonderboy Thompson. Buckley just finds a way to win. He has the X factor. It reminds me of a quote of Mike Tyson.
Anyone could beat me or beat him in their living room or in the bed with their girlfriend bragging about themselves. It's when they get in front of me, can they capitalize on the mistakes they see when they're watching me in their living room. It's a big issue. They have no pressure on them in their living room.
Buckley puts that pressure on these fighters. And he might not be the best wrestler. He might not be even the best striker. But he has something. He has something that McGregor had. When McGregor was coming up, he was just full of motivation and inspiration and dedication. Anytime you seen him, he was in the gym working his balls off. And he was coming out of Ireland. He didn't have a dream team. He's had a couple guys who were dedicated to the dream and really wanted to make it happen. And that's what Buckley has going for him. He wants to be a champion from St. Louis. He's a young, hungry fighter. Usman was the best welterweight of all time. He beat GSP's record, and he's coming back. He's no slouch. But why is Usman coming back? Is it for the money? Does he really want to get the title again? Why does he want to come back at this stage in the game? And this is why I'm choosing Buckley to win this fight. I think Buckley has so many things going for him. He has the inner drive, the inner motivation, the inner inspiration to become the champion and beat Usman. He just has more reasons to win. On top of that, he's younger. He's hungry. He goes in there, he beats guys all the time that he shouldn't be beating. So I'm choosing Buckley to win this fight by knockout. And I hate to say it, but I believe Buckley is going to win this fight by knockout. And Usman is an incredible fighter. Usman, he's no slouch. His last fight with Khamzat was on short notice, was incredible. But we just seen Gilbert Burns fight a young, hungry Michael Morales and get starched. Michael Morales, when we look at him, he's not the best striker. He has great wrestling, but he's not the best grappler. What he has is youth, and he has the fire inside, the hunger to become a champion. And that's what we seen when he went in there and starched Gilbert Burns for the first time ever. I believe we're going to see a similar scenario with Usman coming in to this fight. Usman's made the millions of dollars. He's beat GSP's record. We've seen guys like Israel Adesanya come back after beating all the records and come back and just go on a losing streak in fights that were competitive. But it's like, to come back from all that, why are you coming back now? You know what I'm saying? And we've seen this happen with many fighters. Israel Adesanya, Anderson Silva, guys who were dominant came back. BJ Penn, guys who were dominant and came back after a loss and just went on this losing streak. So I believe that's what we're going to see with Usman here. Buckley has, a few ways to win this fight. Primarily on the feet is going to be the way he's going to be able to win this fight. But Buckley has shown that he has good grappling as well. And coming out of St. Louis, Missouri, which is known for great wrestling, Usman obviously on paper is a better wrestler, but with the injuries and this long career and the fire maybe not being there as much, I believe it's going to be a lot for him to deal with Buckley in this fight. You know, on top of that, Usman hasn't really shown new wrinkles in his game. Every single time Buckley fights, he's showing new wrinkles in his game. Every single time. So, you know, Buckley's 31 years old. He's just ramping up. You know, we look at Usman when he was 31 years old. He was ramping up. You know, I believe Buckley might be the next champion. You know, Buckley is, he right now is the dark horse of the division. He's the most interesting guy in the division other than Michael Morales to me. You know, I believe Buckley beats Ian Gary. I believe Buckley beats Jack Della Magdalena. I believe Buckley beats pretty much everybody. You know, listen to him when he talks. Remember McGregor when he was on the come up and how he talked, what was in his heart. He was talking about just really making it for his family. You know, he was talking about making it for his city, making it for Dublin. When you hear Buckley talk, it's the same thing. He's talking about making it for his grandma, taking care of his family, making it for St. Louis. You know, so this fight has a lot of things, but this fight began when Usman beat Tyron Woodley. And it's funny to see how things come back around. You know, Usman came in, took the belt from Woodley, and now new Mansa, Joaquin Buckley, is going to go in and take that #1 contender spot from Kamaru Usman. This should be just an incredible fight. I think it's going to be a war, but I believe, you know, with Buckley being the younger man and just having a lot of fire and piss and vinegar and just motivation, and, you know, he's close to making the millions of dollars if he's able to beat someone like Usman. I believe it's going to be a great fight, potentially one of the best fights of the year, but Buckley will end up on top of this fight.
You wanna go to fucking war? We'll go to war with you, yeah?